Hey everyone, thank you for watching. I am really excited for today's video because I'm going to be playing with some of the eyeshadow palettes that I received recently from Shop Hush. I did a Hush haul a couple weeks ago on my channel. I will leave that one linked down below. I just showed everything that was sent to me from the website, and I asked what you guys would want to see, and I got a lot of really good feedback on here, and I just tried to take all the ideas and basically put it into one video. So what I did for today's video is I first compared the Modern Renaissance and the Bad Habit Royals palette. I also did a comparison on the Subculture and the Retro Love, like one eye with one palette, the one eye with the other palette. And then to finish it off, I do not have a dupe for this one. This is a Huda Beauty dupe, but I did use the Bad Habit Aphrodite palette to create this eye look, and I'm showing you guys how these palettes worked out for me and the looks that I created. So I'm excited, a bit of a different type of video for me, but I hope that you guys like it or find it helpful. So if you want to jump into the comparisons, why don't we go ahead and get started. So first I'm going to start with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance and then the Royals Bad Habits. I'll be doing Modern Renaissance over here and Royals over here. I do apologize if this video is super bright, but we got a bunch of snow and it's still snowing right now, and I just film in front of my window to have natural light, and it is so bright outside. Like, I kind of want to be like squinting, put my sunglasses on because there's a lot of snow out there. Ugh. So first up in the Modern Renaissance, I'm going to take the first shade, which is Tempera, and I'm just going to use this to kind of like set. I have concealer on. I'm going to use the E43 from Sigma, so I'm just going to take that and run it all over the lids to kind of set the concealer. I have my face makeup done and my brows. I'm just gonna dust that brush off and just use the same one, and I'm gonna come in to Treasury from the Royals palette and dust that all over the other eye. Okay, so far, I mean, that looked pretty on par to the Anastasia one. With these looks, I'm not planning on doing anything like super crazy with these comparisons. You know, I'm just trying to see, can we achieve the same look? Like, did they feel the same, look the same, blend the same, and all of that. So I'm not doing anything like real crazy up in here today. So from Modern Renaissance, I'm going to take a Raw Sienna and a Sigma E25, and I'm just going to put that into the crease. I'm just going to slowly start to blend it towards the inner part of the eye as well. I dipped back in one more time and grabbed a little bit more. I'm just going to do the same thing to kind of slowly work up that crease color. And I'm going to take Air from the Royals palette and a different E25 from Sigma, and just do the same thing on the left side. Just like I did on the other side, I'm going to dip back in for a little bit more and slowly blend it up. I'm finding this one really easy to blend as well, and I think the pigment looks pretty similar. So we got the crease colors down, still looking pretty similar to me, and then I'm going to come back into the Modern Renaissance. I'm going to switch brushes. I'm going to try to keep my E25s separate for each palette in this one, and I'm just going to build it up with a little bit of Real Gar. Let's go in with the orange because I really do like that orange. For the orange, I'm just going to focus this one on the outer part of the eye, so I'm kind of patting it down, and then I'll slowly start to blend it. I know this orange is like super pigmented. I use it out of this palette all the time. It's one of my favorite shades in here, but I know that you have to work with a light hand with this one. And then from the Royals palette, I'm going to take Monarch down here. This one doesn't look like, in the pan, it doesn't look as vibrant as the one from the Modern Renaissance, but we will see. So I'm going to grab my E25 for this side and just pat it onto the outer V and then slowly start to blend it. So even though it didn't look like maybe it would pack as much of a punch just looking at it in the pan, it actually, I feel like, is showing up really well. And again, easy to blend. I think it's still looking pretty similar on both sides. There's not as much kick up in the Royals palette as there is in the Modern Renaissance. You get quite a bit of kick up with the Modern Renaissance, but I'm not really noticing that with the Bad Habit palette. The amount of kickback doesn't bother me though, and I have no fallout on my face at all from either palette right now, so kick up in a palette tends not to bug me. But that is something that I've noticed. So I feel like with this side, I feel like it looks more orange and this side it doesn't look quite, it doesn't have like that orange kind of rusty vibe that I feel like this eye has, but still fairly similar. And Aries has started snoring, so you might hear her because she's right next to me. And then I do want to use a shimmer shade, summer shade. So I'm going to go into the Modern Renaissance and grab out Primavera, which is one of my like all-time favorites. In this palette, I'm going to use this Sigma E55. And I don't have a damp brush or anything. And then I'm just going to pat that onto the lid. This is really, I'm going to dip back in twice. I'll do the same on the other side too, but this is really just one of like my favorite go-to looks with this palette. I'm just going to take my big fluffy brush from Sigma. This is the E40. I'm just going to make sure that's all blended together. Then from the Royals palette, I'm going to grab the shade Crown. And I have the Sigma E54. It's really similar to the E55. And again, not using a damp brush. I'm just going to apply that to the lid. And then I'm going to come back in a second time and apply a little bit more. Grabbing the E40, I'm just going to go ahead and blend everything. This shimmer from the Bad Habit Royals palette, it's showing up pretty good, but I don't think it has as much oomph as this one. I think if I were to use a damp brush, I could get the same amount of pigment and, you know, kind of shimmery goodness. These are the shadows that I wanted to try out for this look. So on this side we have Anastasia, Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance, and on this side we have the Bad Habit Royals palette. I felt like the first two shades were pretty similar to one another, but then when it got to the orange, I could tell that this side isn't as vibrant as the other side, and then when it came to the shimmer, I feel like that's really where I noticed a difference. This side with Anastasia is just like boom, shimmer, it's there, it's great. And this side I feel like is definitely just lacking. I feel like the Anastasia side looks like, you know, I just put my makeup on and everything is great. And then the Bad Habit side kind of is like, I've had this makeup on for 10 hours, 8 hours, and it's starting to fade away. That's kind of the difference that I'm noticing between the two. But of course, I would love to know your thoughts as well. But as far as the Royals palette performing, I mean, that's pretty good for, I think this is a $10 palette, $12 palette. I think it performed really well, and I think it is worth the price tag. But like going head to head with the Anastasia palette, I still think the Anastasia palette is better than the Royals, but I don't think that this one is bad at all. It blended easily, you know, things were showing up well. I didn't have any issues with fallout, you know, anything like that. But comparing the two, I would still say that Anastasia takes this one. But let me know what you think in the comments down below of look number one, comparing the Modern Renaissance and the Royals palette. So next up, I want to compare the Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture to the Bad Habit Retro Love eyeshadow palette. Here are what these palettes look like. So the Bad Habit palette is on the top, and then the Anastasia is on the bottom. So we will see. I'm someone who I do like the Subculture. I know not a lot of people did. I liked mine just fine. Still reach for it. It is a little bit trickier to work with for sure, but let's just see what kind of look we can create with these two. I'm going to pick up the Sigma E43, and from the Subculture, I'm going to pick up Dawn, which is the second color. And I'm just going to place that all over the lid. I put a little bit of concealer back on, and then I'm just going to run this all over the lid. Then from the Retro Love palette, I'm going to grab the shade right here, which is called Peace. I'm going to use the same brush, and I'm going to apply that all over the lid. The very first thing that I noticed just dipping into that color is that it doesn't have the crazy kick up that the Subculture does. I know a lot of people didn't love the, you know, really like powdery pigmentedness of the Subculture. Based on just dipping a brush into one of the shades. I did not notice that with the Retro Love. So I'm going to do a look of mine that's one of my favorites from this palette. That's what I'm going to go with today. So I'm first going to come in with New Wave, which is right here. And I'm going to take a Sigma E25. I just went and cleaned my brushes, and I'm going to tap into that one pretty lightly and put this on the outer part of my eye. And then slowly start to blend that one as well and blend it towards the inner part of the eye. And then I'm going to come in and grab the shade Fab right here and take a different E25. Pat that onto my brush and then do the same thing. Just put it on the outer part of my eye and then slowly start to blend it. Interesting, from using that color, I actually feel like I like it better than the Subculture. I mean, the Subculture is just so like different formula-wise. Like you have to go into it differently with a different mindset. And I know that that's an issue with it, but I kind of was like, well, it's fine because like I like the different colors and I like the uniqueness of it. But I'm now really curious about Retro Love because I actually like how that applied better than the Subculture. What I'm gonna do next is take Destiny, which is kind of like the olive green, and I'm gonna put that all over the lid. I love this one all over the lid. So I'm gonna take the Sigma E55 and just tap it in there. Make sure I tap it off. And then I'm gonna apply Destiny all over the lid. I'm gonna dip back into that one again, tap it, tap my brush off, and then apply all over the lid. I'm gonna take the E54 and grab out Hippie, is the name from the Retro Love palette, and I'm going to apply that one all over the lid. I'm gonna dip back in just like I did with the Subculture, and once again apply it to the lid. So it's kind of crazy to me, but having that matte green down, I am liking Retro Love more. It just is easier to work with. I like the way it blends better. And I really liked that matte green. Like, I do want to do one more color. And this is just for like testing purposes. I just want to see how this would work. I'm going to take Electric from the Subculture palette. I'm going to take my flat shader brush again. And I'm going to pat that into like the center of the eyes. Just to see. I'm just curious now. I know I'm not really creating like full looks either and doing like mascara or lashes or liner and all of that, but I really just wanted to see how these four compare to one another lash wise. And you know, I'm also wiping my makeup off in between each one, so my eyes would just be like so raw if I was also trying to get mascara off and everything too. Okay, so I dipped in twice to Electric, come back into Retro Love and take Icon, which is the second shade. So I'm not using a setting spray. Okay. Icon did some weird things, you can see, but it kind of like tore up Icon, so that's kind of Subculture like with this palette. So that's kind of a bummer, but I'm gonna go ahead and place Icon. Wow, wow. Ooh, okay, so I'm gonna dip in twice just like I did with Subculture, so we're keeping it consistent, but wow. Okay. So I'm not like super pleased that it kind of like tore up the shade. I think I was just, since trying all the other ones, nothing was really kind of like breaking up or being too powdery, but Icon is. So I'll just have to keep that in mind for the other shimmers. But this is the look with Subculture on this side and the Bad Habit Retro Love on this side. And I'm giving it to Retro Love this round. I really like the way that this eye came out better. I'm surprised. I am still surprised, but if you wanted Subculture because you liked the colors, headbands hurt after a while, because you liked the colors and you thought they were unique and all of that, but you kind of got nervous, you know, seeing the reviews, and you know, a lot of people say it's not the easiest palette to work with, which I do agree. It's truly not the easiest palette to work with. This one, yeah, I would say go ahead and get this one because that worked out really, really well for me. That's freaking awesome. Let me know what you think in the comments, of course. Which side do you like better? What do you think? Let me know. But I was gonna give it to Retro Love anyways, and then I was like, let me just put down one more. Like, this side pops with that shimmery color. This side, it's like, I am impressed. So with this round, Retro Love, gotta give it to it. Cool. So last up, I am going to create a full eye look, and I'm going to use the Bad Habit Aphrodite palette. So this is what the palette looks like. This is a dupe for the Huda Beauty, I think it's the Rose Gold palette that this one is a dupe for. Bad Habit has another one out that's a dupe for the other Huda Beauty palette as well, but this is what the Aphrodite palette looks like. So I'm excited to give this a try. So I thought since I didn't have the Huda palette to do a comparison, I would just do a full complete eye look. Come in with Koi down here on the bottom. Again, I just grabbed out the Sigma E43 to apply this all over the lid. I did put more concealer on. I do not know how people do like live swatches. Like I love watching that girl Shay XL, and she does live swatches, especially with like ColourPop, where she puts just a ton of different shades onto her lid and wipes them off and does it again. I'm like, my eyes are raw after wiping them off twice. I'm like, I can't do it anymore, my eyes hurt. I'm gonna come in and grab the shade Admire, which is right here, and my Sigma E40. And I'm just going to put that into the crease as my first transition color. I was really excited to do those comparisons though, because I wanted to see, I felt like there was a lot of feedback from my Shop Hush haul video, and these were kind of the items that I saw the most of. Like definitely people wanted eye tutorials, they wanted to see comparisons. So I was like, what could I do to kind of combine everything? I mean, you guys know that I post nearly every single day. I do either 6 or 7 days a week with a live chat as well, but I still have so many video ideas to get to, and I'm not really like tutorial based channel. I like to just sit and chat. Like, I don't know, that's kind of what I prefer. So I only do videos like this maybe once a week, sometimes not even once a week. And I was just trying to figure out what I could do, because I didn't want to do just like a bunch of videos, like shorter videos with comparisons, because that's just not really my style, you know? So I thought maybe if I could do some quick little comparisons just to give an idea and, you know, see for myself, and then do one kind of complete eye look, that could be a good idea. So I know it's kind of a different format, but hopefully you guys still like it, because I'm trying. This one does have quite a bit of kick up in the palette, if you can see from that shade right there that I was using. So that one has quite a bit of kick up, but that's what I do for kick up. I just blow it off. Go on, brush the shoulders off. I'm really attracted to this color called Blushing right here in the palette. I think that one is so pretty, and I just want to use it because I do. It caught my attention right away. So I'm gonna take a clean Sigma E25. I have a ridiculous amount of E25s from Sigma. Pat some onto my brush there, and then I'm gonna work this onto the outer part of the eye and bring it in. I'm gonna be kind of messy with this one. I know I'm gonna come in with a shimmer too, but I just thought that pink was so romantic and pretty. I really wanted to use it. So I'm gonna come back in and grab a little bit more and just keep kind of layering it on until I have it up to where I want it to be. Oh, it's so pretty. Again, noticing a lot of kick up with this shade as well, but it's blending very easily and it's showing up well, and it's so pretty. I love this color. There's so many beautiful shimmers in here. It's so hard to pick one. I was first gonna go with Crush right here, but I think I'm actually gonna do this one. It looks like just a little bit more on the vibrant side, but still that beautiful, you know, pinky colors. I'm so into pink right now, which is weird. Pink on my eyes, pink on my lips. I am just digging pink right now. I'm gonna take the cream color E58 from Sigma. It's just like a flat shader brush. I'm gonna come in with no setting spray first, like I normally do when I work with new palettes. So I'm gonna pick up a little bit on the brush here and then apply this onto the lid. Okay, so we're definitely gonna need a setting spray to try to help, because that didn't really do anything. So hold please. It shows up because it's so pretty in the pan. I really want it to be pretty on my eyes too. Oh, there we go. Yep, okay, she's pretty. She's pretty. She's pretty, but she has a lot of fallout. There's now a bunch of fallout on my face. And it's kind of hard. It's interesting. It's like kind of hard to move around. Like once you put the brush down, it kind of just stays there and it doesn't want to move. So I don't love this color as much as I thought I was going to, unfortunately. It's kind of weird to work with. I don't know. It's just taking me a while to build it up and make sure I'm getting it to where I want. I have fallout on my face, and I'm really kind of having to like dig into the palette to get some on my brush. But I mean, I like the end result. I like the color. It looks really pretty. So that's good. It's just hard to work with. I'm just gonna take my E25 again and kind of run it across here to make sure everything is nice and blended. My eyes actually hurt like blending them. How do people do live swatching videos with so many different shades? My eyes hurt so bad. Overall, so far with what we've done, I do like it. The camera is gonna overheat. I'm going to wipe off my face and apply some mascara and liner, and then I will come back in to finish off with a few more shadows. Okay, so I added some liner and mascara, and I also put on a lip color because I felt really weird not having a lipstick on this entire time. But I'm gonna come back into the Aphrodite palette and just do some work on the lower lash line. I think I'm going to take a Passion first here in the middle with my Sigma E30 pencil brush and just to sweep that along the lower lash line. That is really pigmented, wow. And then I'm gonna pick up blushing again and sweep that onto the lower lash line as well. I love this color. I kinda wanna do like an all matte eye with this color too. I think that would be really pretty, so. Just going to add a little bit of color to the lower lash line. And I'm gonna take a different clean E30 and I'm gonna pick up Crush, which was like the original color. I was thinking about putting on the lid, but I'm gonna add this one to the inner corner for a little pop of color over here. Mostly because I'm still curious to see how it looks. Ooh, that's really pretty. Ooh, I like that. After that, then that's gonna do it for this eye look using the Bad Habit Aphrodite palette. I hope that you guys enjoyed the look that I came up with. Overall, I really do like this palette and I think that it would be worth the money. The majority of the shades worked out really well for me. The shimmer I just had to play with a little bit, so I'm excited to use some of these other really pretty shimmers in here and just see kind of how they perform. But I mean, once I used a setting spray and just took my time, like no big deal. So yeah, I really like this palette. I love the colors in here. I'm so excited to keep playing with them. I just think it's like a really kind of like romantic looking palette. So hey, I like this one. I think it came out pretty well. You guys can let me know what you think about this eye look in the comments. Do you have this palette yet? But after our third eye look, that is going to do it for this video. Okay, so that is everything for today's video. Oh, my eyes are like, thank you for not wiping me off again. But I really hope that you guys enjoyed it or found it helpful in some way. It was really fun to play with these different palettes and see which ones I liked more compared to their dupe partner, and then also playing with the Bad Habit Aphrodite palette. I think this one actually might like have me the most excited, and maybe it's because I don't have a dupe for it in my collection. Like, I'm just really excited to play with this one even more and use it because I love the colors in here and I'm excited to try it out even more. But that is it for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it and enjoyed this kind of like format style of video. I know it's a little bit different for me, but I really wanted to try to do as much as I could in a video without like getting me too overwhelmed. But I hope that you guys liked it, and of course if you did, I hope that you'll give this video a thumbs up. I hope that you will also consider subscribing before you go, and I will catch you guys in tomorrow's video.